Since the beginning of 2025, reports of UAP sightings have increased significantly. During the latest 7-planet alignment around February 28, 2025, many gathered to watch the sky, and in some areas, people were surprised to witness UFOs or UAPs. This isn't exactly shocking. We've covered many UFO phenomena in previous videos, but what's causing this frequent activity? Could it be, as Bashar has suggested, that they're preparing to reveal themselves and giving us a heads up? Today, let's hear from a well-known UFO channeler and see what he has to say about this unfolding mystery. Daniel Scranton is a well-known channeler who has been sharing his messages for over a decade. His journey into channeling began in 2010, after what he describes as a near-death-like experience, an event that he believes played a crucial role in unlocking his ability to channel later that same year. Looking back, he now sees that moment as a turning point in his spiritual evolution. At the time of his awakening, Scranton was going through one of the most challenging periods of his life. He suffered from chronic physical pain, was deeply unhappy in his marriage, and felt mentally drained. He reached a point where he felt trapped, as though there was no way out of his circumstances. Although he never seriously considered taking his own life, thoughts of leaving this world frequently crossed his mind. It was a rock-bottom moment, one that forced him to confront his emotions and seek deeper answers. Despite these struggles, Scranton had been spiritually awake for over a decade. He had explored metaphysics extensively and followed many channeled teachings. However, extraterrestrials were never a primary focus of his interests. He believed they existed, but didn't see them as having a direct influence on humanity's experience. That belief would soon change. One night, Scranton had a vivid dream that altered his perspective forever. In the dream, he found himself standing in a vast desert with a close friend, someone who had always been fascinated by extraterrestrials. He turned to his friend and simply said, "I understand now about the other beings." The statement felt deeply profound, as though something had suddenly clicked in his mind. Upon waking in the middle of the night, Scranton felt something unusual. At first, he thought it was just the cold air. After all, it was still March in Los Angeles, and the weather hadn't fully warmed up. But this sensation wasn't just a physical chill. He soon realized he was feeling energy, an intense, undeniable force flowing into his body through the crown of his head. He remained lying in bed with his eyes closed, completely overwhelmed by the sensation. The energy was unlike anything he had ever experienced before. It was so powerful that his back arched completely off the bed, his body barely touching the mattress. In awe, he kept repeating, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." The experience was overwhelming, but in the best possible way. The sensation was so euphoric that he found himself asking for more, and with each request, the energy intensified. At that moment, his dream resurfaced in his mind, and he began to wonder if there was a connection between the two. Then, an even stranger thought crossed his mind. Could this have something to do with aliens? The second that thought formed, a massive surge of energy shot through his body. It felt like a direct confirmation. Encouraged, he repeated the word aloud, "Aliens." With each repetition, the energy responded, flowing through him even more strongly, as if something or someone was acknowledging his realization. As he experimented further, Scranton discovered that he could communicate with the energy. He began asking yes or no questions, using the energy surges as a form of response. If the answer was yes, another wave of energy would flow through him. If the answer was no, he would feel nothing. Curious, he asked, "Are you here to heal me?" To his surprise, there was no response, no energy surge. That meant no. Then, on a whim, he asked, "Are you here to play with me?" Instantly, a surge of energy shot through his body. That response changed everything. It suggested that this experience wasn't just about healing, it was about something far greater. This event sparked an intense curiosity in him. From that point forward, he wanted to understand extraterrestrials and their connection to humanity. He had already been meditating daily, sometimes for 45 minutes to an hour. But now, his practice took on a new purpose. He sought to reconnect with that energy, to experience it again. Over time, he learned how to do just that. 8 months after that life-changing night, Scranton became a verbal channeler. He began receiving messages from non-physical entities. The first group he channeled introduced themselves as the creators. They didn't give themselves a name. He had to choose one for them. Unlike extraterrestrials, these beings were purely non-physical. For years, he primarily channeled such entities until a major shift occurred. In 2016, he began channeling a group known as the Arcturians. Their messages resonated deeply with him, and for the next 6 or 7 years, he exclusively channeled them for his daily transmissions. It wasn't until more recently that he felt called to reconnect with other beings as well. The Arcturians have spoken frequently about extraterrestrial contact, particularly in recent years. They have addressed the rising number of UFO sightings and the increasing mainstream discussions surrounding UAPs. Even institutions such as the US Congress and major media outlets have begun engaging in these conversations. According to the Arcturians, all of these developments are leading toward a larger goal, preparing humanity for open contact. So what does this mean for 2025 and beyond? Scranton believes that these types of sightings and events will continue to increase. UFOs and UAPs will become more widely acknowledged, and the subject will no longer be dismissed as mere speculation or conspiracy. The shift has already begun, and it will only accelerate from here. Beyond extraterrestrial contact, he anticipates major societal transformations. The old systems, those that have primarily benefited a small elite while leaving the majority struggling, will start to crumble. This includes financial institutions, healthcare, and even governmental structures. People will begin seeking alternative ways of living, healing, and interacting with the world around them. In addition, more individuals will awaken to their own spiritual abilities. Channeling, energy healing, and heightened intuition will become increasingly common. Humanity is evolving, and the presence of extraterrestrials is a part of this larger transformation. Scranton believes this is an incredibly exciting time to be alive. The world is on the brink of a massive shift, one that will redefine humanity's place in the universe. The question that remains is, are we ready for it? Scranton emphasizes that humanity is not only preparing for open contact, but also evolving on multiple levels, spiritually, energetically, and socially. He points out that there has already been a significant shift in the way extraterrestrial phenomena are perceived. Just a decade ago, discussions about UFOs and extraterrestrials were largely dismissed as conspiracy theories or fringe beliefs. Today, however, these topics have made their way into mainstream conversations, with governments, military officials, and scientific institutions openly investigating them. The beings he channels, particularly the Arcturians, have been encouraging this transition. According to them, extraterrestrial contact is not something that will happen suddenly in a singular, dramatic event. Instead, it is a gradual process. a shift that has been unfolding for years and will continue to unfold as humanity collectively raises its vibration. One of the key messages from the Arcturians is that humans must first become comfortable with their own multidimensional nature before they can truly engage with extraterrestrial beings. They explain that higher dimensional entities, such as the Arcturians, operate on frequencies that are different from those of most humans. If people wish to connect with them, or even with physical extraterrestrial races, they must first work on expanding their consciousness. Scranton highlights the role of meditation, energy work, and self-awareness in this process. He notes that many people who actively participate in these practices have already had encounters, whether in dreams, meditative states, or even waking experiences. The more individuals who open themselves to these experiences, the more the collective consciousness will shift toward accepting extraterrestrial presence as a natural reality. Regarding disclosure, Scranton believes that while governments may continue to release information gradually, the true contact experience will not come from official statements or declassified documents. Instead, it will come through direct experiences, people witnessing, interacting with, and even telepathically communicating with these beings themselves. He suggests that this is already happening on a small scale and will continue to increase. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Arcturians' messages is their emphasis on humanity's readiness. They stress that fear is the biggest obstacle to open contact. Many people have been conditioned through media, religion, and cultural narratives to fear extraterrestrials, often associating them with invasion scenarios or harmful experiments. In reality, Scranton asserts, the majority of advanced extraterrestrial beings interacting with Earth are benevolent. They seek to assist humanity, not to control or harm it. However, in order for large-scale contact to occur, humans must be able to meet these beings from a place of love, curiosity, and openness, not fear. This is why so much of the current shift involves raising awareness, healing personal and collective traumas, and stepping into a more unified consciousness. Scranton also touches on the societal changes that are occurring alongside this awakening. As people begin to accept higher dimensional realities, they will also start questioning the very structures that have governed their lives. This includes economic systems, healthcare, and political institutions that have long been based on control and limitation. He believes that as more people awaken, they will naturally seek alternatives, ways of living that are more in harmony with their true nature. The year 2025, he suggests, will be a pivotal one. While he does not claim to predict exact events, he senses that more shifts are coming, shifts that will make it even harder for the old systems to maintain control. He expects that more individuals will experience direct contact with extraterrestrials, whether through sightings, dream encounters, or even physical interactions. In closing, Scranton expresses his excitement for what lies ahead. He believes that humanity is on the cusp of a major transformation, one that will redefine not only our relationship with extraterrestrials, but also our understanding of who we truly are. He encourages everyone to stay open, stay curious, and most importantly, embrace the changes that are unfolding. Whether through personal spiritual growth, meditation, or simply opening up to new possibilities, each person has the power to contribute to this grand shift. The question remains, are we ready to step into this new reality